Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. Welcome back. All right, everybody. I hope everyone is doing really, really well. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much. Sorry, I had to change a setting there so that I can actually see the chat. But thank you, everybody, for hanging with me. Thanks for being around. I hope you guys have had um, a good weekend. Maybe something positive, changeable, whatever it may have been. But let's go ahead and get into a bonus general message. Um, by the way, you guys know I was away for a couple of days, and so I did pre record videos, specifically ones for bonus messages and also videos for the today's topic videos. So if you missed those, I will. I'll probably like post a little list, especially for the today's topics, and I'll put them there in the description box also. So if you're looking for the today's topic videos for, let's see, the 13th, 14th, and 15th have already been recorded. And so I just want to make sure that you guys get those. But this is just a bonus message, so it's not zodiac or date specific. But we are starting out with a storyline. Starts with a Nine of Wands, then goes to another nine, that Nine of Pentacles, and then goes to the Ten of Wands. This is really cleansing energy, cathartic energy. We have somebody who's just about healed. They're feeling a lot better. They recognize it, and that is the moment where they go, I am better. I don't just think I'm better, I am better. I've laid down burdens. I'm going to stress a lot less about people who've done me wrong, not because it's somehow okay that they did me wrong, but I'm just not going to let it be the thing that defines me. I'm going to not stress out about things I imagine that I did wrong. I'm not going to guilt myself so much. I'm not going to carry heavy burdens. I'm not going to constantly, keep a list and accounting of every perceived flaw and failure and mistake I've ever made. I'm actually okay. I'm okay. And that is a very personal moment. And I think this is a character who's kind of sick and tired of feeling not good enough or feeling like they've messed up or feeling like it is always going to be something that I have to feel bad inside about. I don't think so. It doesn't mean they don't have a conscience. I think this is a person who had an overactive conscience and kept finding things to imagine that they had messed up and not done enough, not done the best job they ever could have, and they're just letting that feeling go. Selenay, thank you, sweetheart. So good to see you. Um, so we have this Two of Wands, and that is sideways. This should be a card of like choice. Which direction does somebody want to go? But I always look at my sideways cards as like kind of the energy flow that could be shared. But this particular Two of Wands card, even though it looks like, of course, we could be at a crossroads not knowing which way to go, this is the one card that I disagree. I think he says, I'm looking right through my telescope in one very precise direction. Now, maybe the distance is kind of far. Maybe, I have to decide on how I get there, plane, train, or automobile, but I already know what I actually do want. The only thing is, this character, I think that they're saying now that I've dropped some huge burdens and now that I feel better about myself, now that I know also what I would like my life to be, do I go after it or do I bring it toward me? And I think that's more what I see on this, which is very intriguing. I'm digging this so far. Hi, Nancy. Thank you, honey. We have a Five of Pentacles. Okay. So, Five of Pentacles is actually somebody like taking stock, not in a negative way per se, but let's put it this way. If we're going to drive someplace, we probably want to check the gas tank to assess, do I have enough gas to get from point A to point B? What is it that I need to do? Do I need to stop and fill up the tank? This is to assess, what do I not have? So which would be the easiest route for me to get to the destination that I now know that I want? What is the destination? Can we see what that is? What is a destination for our character? Five of Wands, King of Swords sideways. Okay, so I'm going to say this. This seems to be the story of possibly a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, possibly a divine masculine. Does not have to be. But he's thinking about, we'll say it this way, even though I don't read for genders, we're going to go with the story as we see it, but just know this could be a woman. He's thinking about what man he wants to become. woman, man, whatever, but what person he wants to become. Who does he want to evolve into? What is it that what's on his checklist? If he wants to transform into this full-blown King of Swords, the King of Swords can still choose to be many different things, right? Full-blown king, we know that's his destination. Destination king. What kind of king do I want to be? And even though it's an air sign, so we assume that we kind of know, it'll be a thoughtful, fair, and balanced king. That still doesn't describe the intricacies of, we are more than just those, adjectives. And so I feel like he is really chewing on this. I would say this is a story possibly of a divine masculine who finally has said, you know what, I am good enough. There's no self-loathing. There's none of that heaviness anymore. All I'm going to do in a loving way is say, all right, so what do I need to do now that I do feel good enough? What is it that the little bits and pieces that I might still be missing that I'd like to brush up on, polish up on? This is like, let's picture it like this. This is a character who goes, you know what? I do feel good about myself. You know what? I can walk with my head held high. I've done my best in my life. I'm going to continue to do so. I have a lot more life to live. I'm feeling good about myself. I'm going to go get a haircut. What kind of haircut do I want? What look do I want? I'm going to shave my beard or something. Which look do I want to go with? That's more what we're talking about when we say he's just got a couple of questions for himself about how do I want to show up as a King of Swords in my own life? And there is, he's hungry. He's hungry. He is a thinker, obviously, as an air sign, but he's thinking pretty deeply. Now, he might be thinking about what he wants to do, in what order he wants to do things in. Carrie B for me. Thank you, honey. Hi, Brian. Hi, Atala. So great to see everybody. Okay. Death and rebirth. So it's probably not just a haircut, right? Death and rebirth is kind of big stuff. What is it that he wants to overhaul? Keep in mind, his big thought process is, I feel like I'm enough. I no longer feel like I'm going to tear myself down. But fair and square, I'm going to ask myself, what is it that I don't have yet to become the King of Swords that I want to be? And he's saying, it turns out there's a really big thing he'd like to change. He knows exactly what it is. He's thinking about it, but he's asking himself, I would say he's asking himself the best question. What is it that I am just ravenous for? Let me change into the person that will get those things that I'm hungry for. And now, what does that mean? Well, it means I have to change something pretty big in my life. So let's say this is a character who, as he thinks through this, he goes, all right, I like myself enough to say I deserve to have a good life. So what is it that I really want? Well, what are my hopes and my dreams? What are the things that I've always wanted more than anything in my life? If I could have anything right now, what would it be? Maybe it would be like, I want to live in a different region, or I want to be in a romance, or I want to be, it could be a person, it could be a place, it could be a lifestyle. But if that's what he realizes he really wants, he goes, all right, that's what I don't have. That's what I'm hungry for. Then how am I going to get it? I'm going to make the changes that I have to go get it. Temperance. This is nice because the changes that he has to make only bring more positivity into his life, a sense of peace, a sense of balance. Now we do have strong Scorpio. By the way, what an appropriate card for this season, right? We have the fall leaves. This is very, very timely. This could be right during this season. Now, of course, it's fall where I'm at because I'm in the Northern Hemisphere. But that's I'm just going to say it's now. It's present time on this. And then we have this Temperance card, which is Sag energy. It's super peaceful. It's like he has a white feather on both of these cards that make me think his big transformation is he just has to surrender. It's not actually something crazy hard and big that he has to do. He just has to surrender to whatever the divine energy is that he already knows is within him. Surrender to what the angels are saying. It doesn't, when I use the term angel, just please know it can mean many things. It's however anybody sees it. Maybe there's somebody whose name is Angel. Maybe somebody who he sees as his angel. Or maybe it simply is the divine aspect. If he surrenders to the divine and he says, I know what I'm hungry for. I'm hungry for the thing that I don't have. What do I need to do to get the thing that I don't have? I just need to basically surrender and let go and be peaceful about this and admit it to myself. And then maybe you can see that we've got this pathway. If he listens to, apparently there's a feminine out here, possibly a Gemini. So maybe he's dealing with another air sign. There is somebody who he hears her heart song all the time, or he smells her, like the aura of her, or the pheromones of her. There is something here where he knows exactly where he wants to be, but he has to surrender to that. He has to surrender to the fact. See, I'm wondering if he's been keeping most of his energy in like holding himself back from the very thing he wants most. Tell me about that Lover's card. I feel like I should change decks here. She could be an earth energy. She may have wanted to give him everything once upon a time. She may not have been doing that anytime recently. We do have a King of Pentacles, but it is in the reverse. There's a decidedly shut down energy surrounding her. Let me see what that means. That, or she could be divorced, possibly. Hi, Monique. Hi, Lavender Moon. So wonderful to see everybody. I missed you guys. We have a 10 of Wands. We have a Queen of Wands. So surrounding her, we have, I don't know if this is one of those situations where she has had her own, like changes, like even a similar change. If was a King of Pentacles, she may have been playing the masculine role in this relationship at one point in time, whether she's a feminine or not. She may have been the one once upon a time who was either trying to move things forward with that King of Swords, and maybe taking that more, like she would broach the subject, she would, pursue them, she would try to hold the relationship together, she would try to, think about them a lot, do a lot for them, plan the dates, make things happen. She may have done that, and she may have even done too much, and it may have turned into like I always look at those cards when they go in the reverse as if it's like that karmic cycle, the cycle we don't realize we fall into sometimes, a pattern that maybe isn't for our greatest and highest good. Because when we get like this, go from giving and generous, but then, feel like used, or feel like I'm sick of giving, I don't want to do this anymore, I feel like insulted or played or any of those things because I've been somehow tricked into giving too much, when in fact, in all fairness, most of the time, I think, because we talk about it being like a cycle that needs to be broken, a pattern, it's more along the lines of sometimes characters find themselves giving too much, find themselves reaching out, find themselves overextending. And then when the other person either doesn't reciprocate or feels unworthy of it, then the person who's giving feels insulted, now pissed off, now feels bad about themselves. That's kind of the vibe that I get off of this. Because she laid down her own burdens surrounding this and stepped into this upright Queen of Wands energy. The Queen of Wands would be the exact opposite of what we were just describing. A, it's feminine, not masculine energy. But B, the Queen of Wands is a tremendous attractor. Through the power of her own heart-centered energy that she emits, she connects and she pulls things toward her. Things have to please her in order for them to be things that she would select for herself. So if our feminine possibly overgave at some point in time, overextended, ended up bitter, shutting down, saying, I'm not giving it all anymore, screw this, then going through her own healing process, laying down burdens and stepping into an energy of, hey, I'm so not going to carry that pattern in my mindset. I'm not going to feel foolish for giving. But what I am going to say is I should have had a higher bar for myself. I should have expected more. And then if somebody couldn't give to me, couldn't reciprocate, couldn't do a 50-50 thing, then I wouldn't be interested in it anyway. So she's a very different person now, for sure, because she's gone through her own 10 of Wands, which is probably really awesome for this storyline, because it's like the new version of her might meet the new version of that King of Swords. Possibly. We'll see. We'll see how it happens. I don't know for sure, but King of Swords, if you are hungry, seemingly, for her, this lover that we see. Ooh, okay. We have a 7 of Swords. What is that? How am I to take that? I didn't get a question posed there. I was still kind of just looking at the collection of cards that we have. We have a high priestess. We have the temperance once again. So something big has to be leveled out. And until it's leveled out, and I think he knows this, and I think she knows this, and I think there's some kind of, I don't know, I don't know what this crawling around on the rooftop kind of thing. I don't know if they're watching from above somehow, whatever that may mean. It's not that the Seven of Swords is necessarily a spying card, but it's like running away and hiding. But this person, like, this is like somebody who crawls out the window in the middle of the night and, you know, goes down the fire escape. There's, if they are a runner, if they have tried to escape, if they once upon a time they wanted this relationship, then they made up a lie to get out of it, that really has to be addressed. There will be no movement forward in anything unless they can address that. Why did they run from the connection? Now, of course, we already had the advantage of seeing exactly why they would have, because if this is the work that they've had to do on themselves, getting to the Nine of Wands, getting to the Nine of Pentacles, getting to that 10 of Wands, that's a lot of laying down burdens, finishing healing, finding self-confidence, dropping away the self-loathing, being able to look at the things that we still don't have, you know, the lack mentality that we may have, but not hating ourselves for it, and instead saying, well, that just tells me what I'm hungry for. You know, he needed to get through all that. No wonder he probably ran away or escaped from a connection, him, her, whatever. But that has to be addressed. It has to be addressed between the two of them. All of this that happened, the lies that were told. Why did they climb out the fire escape and run? Because this feels like that was probably the high priestess. They both know that this underlying thing that hasn't been dealt with, and this isn't something to be brushed under the rug. If there's ever going to be like a truce or a healed energy, or, you know, hey, I'd like you to meet the new updated 5.0 version of me, you know, the past has to be addressed. We can't just live in la la land where we come waltzing in and it's like, well, because I feel like a new shiny me, I'm just going to act like the past never happened. They know all too well this is really going to be like the big old brick sitting between them. You know, it's the elephant in the room. So will that be that has to be balanced. I mean, the Temperance card is about smoothing it out. It's about gaining understanding. It's about really communicating so that full comprehension can be there. And if they know that, they know that they can't just pop on in and show up with the new shiny version of them without addressing what, first off, what was the lies and the running away in the past. And then this desire to actually have a reset button to be seen as the new version of them. They wouldn't be the new version of them if they think they just pop in and forget the past. You know, the new version of them, an updated King of Swords, is going to be able to, you know, kind of communicate what they have to. And remember, the big thing that he has to do is just kind of surrender to this, surrender to the fact that I think this story, it kind of says that he wants to talk to her. He wants to actually, you know, convey. Let's ask though. King of Swords, what do you want? We know that you're hungry for her because that came out, but what is it that you want? King of Wands sideways. He wants to get to the lovey, squishy, warm-hearted stuff. This feels pretty divinely orchestrated. He wants to, you know, this is the King of Wands is very warm-hearted, and it's great that he wants to be in that loving energy with her, because remember, she's transformed into a Queen of Wands. Let me get one more here. Strength card in the reverse, Nine of Swords, Six of Wands. He wants to like unburden his soul on all of this. Talk about the fears that made him run. Talk about the stresses that he's been under. Talk about this to actually get it off his chest. So finally that can be, that's back to the Temperance card, basically. I need to talk about the stuff I was afraid of. You know, sometimes like standing up and testifying and just saying the stuff that we didn't do well, the reason we were upset, the reason we were scared, the reason we went down the fire escape. And really being able to say, I was scared. That's why. I was maybe petrified even. I didn't feel strong at that point in time. I was afraid of love. I was afraid I wasn't good enough. I was scared. Just being able to say it can be such a like owning that kind of thing. And especially when it's like past tense, like I was those things. I'm not today. That's why I can vocalize it today. I was those things, but I'm not today. In fact, oh my God, it feels so good to say that out loud because I can see the difference in me. I can finally, admit it. Like that kind of is the dialogue I think that's coming from this king. This is also the truth. This is also the warmth that they're trying to convey, but it's dealing with the past and actually, smoothing it out. And let me just ask for her sake, Queen of Wands, if they came in this way, Queen of Wands, what would you do? Strength card. She'd say, well, point blank, I'm scared. Okay, fair enough. Because what are you scared about? King of Pentacles. I'm scared I'll give to them again and overgive and be super generous with them again. A King of Pentacles doesn't overgive, but keep in mind, she was a King of Pentacles in the reverse at one point in time. The Justice card. She is afraid. She will, how do I say this? So a Queen of Wands does not want to be somebody who tries to either recreate stuff or cling to stuff that isn't supposed to be hers or demand that things have to go in a certain way. But a Queen of Wands doesn't want to lower her own self-esteem by feeling oh, now they're coming back in. Now they want this. So am I going to feel pitiful in my own self if I take them back because it's oh, here they are. Now let me glom on. Let me give to them. It feels like she's almost fearful that she'll go right back into, okay, now I'm going to give to you again, even though you did me wrong. And it's like she's very giving by nature. And when she loves somebody, I think she really gives. And I think by nature, she's kind of a leader. And she finds herself shifting into this energy, and she already worked really hard to get herself out of it. She keeps thinking, this story anyway, the way I would describe it is she's scared. She will become her old self. She will overgive, and she'll get screwed over once again. And then she'll be mad at herself because she worked hard to get beyond that. She laid down those burdens. She became a different person. Tell me about that Justice card. Give me one more or two. Judgment sideways, Wheel of Fortune upright. She doesn't know if this is something that she's supposed to say yes to or that this is the time she's supposed to let go of it, because we have the Judgment card sideways. But it's obviously this is one of the most important connections of her life, because everywhere she looks, her universe is still steeped in this image of them. What is it that you worry about with that Judgment card sideways? Because remember, the Justice card is what we're trying to, she thinks it might be full of crap. Ace of Pentacles in the reverse, that they aren't any different, that they're just going to come in and they're going to take from her again. She's going to slip back into becoming that very giving person. She's going to, I don't know if they're coming toward her or would be coming toward her with this hope to rekindle things. And maybe they want to move to be near her. Maybe once upon a time she would have welcomed them into her life, into her kingdom, whatever it was. And I only say that because as a King of Pentacles, sometimes that's somebody who has a lot of security. Maybe she owns a home. Maybe she has a comfortable home and she worries, are they just coming back in? I'm going to welcome them in. I'm going to find myself in that provider role. And in truth, they're not going to be staying. We're not going to have a new beginning. And this was my test to make sure I had really become the Queen of Wands and could let them go. Here's the thing, though. I should just let another deck talk, but I almost think that's a little, I'll just say this. I think that that's a little too, come on, how much you want to think this stuff out? That's is the universe messing with me? Is it, is this my test? Is this my... It's why don't you just listen to your heart? You want this person or don't you? I'm all about simplification tonight. Okay, universe, you weigh in on this. The star. I'm going to go ahead and say, because the star is about healing, it's about a wish fulfillment. I definitely think that that's okay that I would say the words I just said. I don't know. It felt like she was going down the rabbit hole of like, is the universe playing a psychological game with me? And I don't think that. I can see how she thinks that it's pretty risky to get hurt again, right? Because she had to do a bunch of healing after that connection with them from the past, because they did that whole Seven of Swords thing and went out the fire escape and ran away. Okay, that kind of stuff hurts. And then she did a bunch of healing. She became a Queen of Wands who said, I wouldn't tolerate that kind of stuff now. And, I'm better off. But now if they come back in and they claim all these nice words, she's still basically, I would argue that it's basically at the foundation of everything. It's the trust that was shaken in this, but it's also somehow still hasn't been made fair. She hasn't really let go of this wound. Now, the irony of this is that the universe says, but if the only way to make the trust maybe get built and to perhaps allow there to genuinely be the chance to set things right, if this king is going to come in and basically be all the things that he ran from in the past, and that would be the thing that would set it right. He comes in, he shows up as this King of Wands. He really is heart-centered. He really is loving. He really has done all this changing. He is hungry to be back in her life. He's no longer feeling like in his own head that he's unworthy somehow and he's not going to run down the fire escape again. The only way that she's probably going to get to the point of allowing there to be the justice, the setting things right, might be if she allows herself to welcome in healing. So I guess what that would say to me is she does not have to say, okay, well, I guess I have to free fall into this and now I have to be the King of Pentacles again. No, remember, you're the Queen of Wands. A Queen of Wands does not, I'll say, like, open up the kingdom and, welcome somebody in and make sure that they have, 5-star dinners. And, she's not going to be the ultimate hostess for them in her life. She's not going to give them her dress. They will have to earn it still. She's not going to, she would date them basically like, okay, you're a different person. Let me see how you treat me as this different person that you tell me that you are. I'll give you a chance like you're a different person. You've told me that's not the person who you are anymore. You've told me that happened. The person that I dated once before really hurt me. They went down the fire escape. They lied to me. They did the Seven of Swords thing because they were scared. But you aren't that person anymore. All right, let me date you like I don't know anything about you then. Let me give you a fresh start. Let me just see. Because I think that's the only way maybe to approach this, instead of saying, well, I'm going to watch you for the first time you slip up, or to say, universe, am I supposed to let them go? It just says, what if the ultimate goal was to heal? Because we can see she still is unhealed in this one respect, because she's thinking, I got to take them back, but what if they're not changed and the whole thing is crap all over again and I revert back to who I used to be and I get the short end of the stick again? And this says, but remember, you're not the person you used to be. And remember, you don't have to do this if you don't want anything to do with them, but it looks like she does, and she's fighting herself, which would be almost as bad as what they've been doing previously, which is fighting themselves until they could finally get out of their own way. So, Crystal Suzanne, thank you, honey. Thank you so much. You're so generous, so sweet. This says, what if she just looked at it as, I would dearly love to heal. If her greatest wish is to not have that feeling of the justice card, that huge injustice that was done. If her greatest healing was to, or wish is to heal that huge injustice, she has to allow some healing in, and so maybe to just approach it that way. It doesn't mean she has to say, oh, I know now I can trust you and I'll love you forever at first glance. Just says that now might be the time for them to maybe even start building a friendship. This is on her term, though. She doesn't have to do this, of course. But there is something about the time has come. I don't know. To me, this looks like it looks like she's battling herself because it looks like she really cares about them and she doesn't want to go through, a repetitious cycle of getting wounded by someone who, because once upon a time, it was supposedly all systems go and then they split. So I think it's really fair for her to be on the fence and nervous about this and not knowing if she can trust them because, hey, I thought I could trust you last time and then you ran away. So what makes it different this time? Oh, words. Yeah, I heard words before though, because we spoke before and then you did opposite what your words said. Let me just ask about that running away card. Universe, can you give us insight onto the Seven of Swords? It's so great to see everyone tonight. Okay, Ten of Swords, Ten of Cups. Oh, the running away was... First off, I think she obsessed over what had happened. And I hate that word. It's so overused now. Because it always sounds, over the top. But let's put it this way. Every which way she thought about them running away, about the ending, it was, another stab of distress because it was all about like, but I thought we were going to be so happy. I thought we were really something. So when you end things in a really painful and abrupt manner because you disappeared on her or ghosted, of course, that's going to leave, I don't know, she might have thought pretty heavily, and every single thought she had was like, there really isn't any sunshiny, way. It just hurts because it was supposed to have been so happy, and instead it was so painful. I gotta say, to a certain extent, they have a hell of a lot to try to make up for because of that running. When you end what was supposed to have been a 10 of cups and you end it really painfully, it is more, I don't know. Well, okay, there's a good depiction. It is more poisonous. That devil card is there. If this is her thought, is that they ran away to go back to somebody else, some karmic, that they, just followed lust to some toxic person that tangled them up in their web. If that were the case, and that's what she thinks it is, I can understand why that would be particularly painful. Universe, is that the case, or is that just what her mind settled on because it was the most painful option? See, with the Knight of Swords in the reverse, it was such an abrupt silence. There was so suddenly nothing. I think that's what left the big gaping insult there. This says no, they just stopped talking to her. I think they stopped talking to everybody. With that Knight of Swords, they might have kind of gone into meltdown mode. Two of Pentacles, they went into like some weird analysis paralysis about life, whether or not they were worthy, whether or not, they were lovable, maybe whether or not it wasn't somebody else, not in this story. In this storyline, that's what her assumption is. And I really think that was what she was certain of. Of course, he was very warm and loving and he went towards somebody other than me. That was her assumption. That's why it was such a huge 10 of Swords to her, because when somebody drops off the face of the planet and doesn't say word one, what else would you think other than, oh, well, of course, they're with somebody else. But we forget all the other myriad of things that can make somebody just shut down, melt down. Literally, a meltdown can do that, right? Having that time, when it's us saying, I need a mental health day, I need to take a day off work, I need to just be silent, I need to just turn off my phone, I need to just stay away from people, it makes sense. But when somebody else goes into that mode and they disappear on us, it's not easy to picture that, especially because, obviously this wasn't one day. In this fictional story, this is a character, that masculine, like I said, that Seven of Swords thing is... everything was happy, and then it was radio silence. So that running away was very, very harsh. But it says they stopped talking to everybody. It says that they went into... this isn't hermit mode, right? It's a Two of Pentacles, but lots of times the hermits are depicted as like sitting up on top of, mountaintop and contemplating their belly button for a little bit. It's like turning inward. This is indecisive as all get out. And this is like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do, which is equally as painful because keeping in mind before there must have been the talk of a future together, and then they disappear and they don't want to talk at all. But the thing is, in this story, it's like they were just excited, maybe talking about the future they could have, and then went into the wondering if they could have a future like that. And that all had to do with their own personal questions about their own personal self-worth, self-value. It actually never had anything to do with her at all, but she was certainly the collateral damage in their like internal struggle. And they just kind of shut down on her and just went into silent mode. So, I think that the only way that she's maybe going to be able to like wrap her head around kind of like, we'll call it like the crisis that they were going through, is maybe if these two get a chance to build one brick at a time, get a chance to like, oh, wait a second, as I get to know you better, as I get to really understand, and you get to really understand me, one brick at a time, one day at a time. I feel like these two, I don't know, maybe they're a lot more similar. Remember, they both have that 10 of Wands. Remember, they both, we've seen the Temperance come out twice. There's, they've both gone through some changes. They're actually a really great match with the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands. But again, what happened here was because of the silence, because of the way it was handled, because of the running away. That's really what caused all of this very, we could say, really unnecessary hurt and pain. And now that all has to be, understood, smoothed over, and started from scratch. Is there an advantage to these two at all in the way that things have gone? I mean, because it sounds like, wow, that's a lot of extra unnecessary work in all of this. But maybe sometimes it's not. This does seem like they took the long road round the mountain, right? But with the Judgment card and with that Four of Swords, my impression is if these two end up giving each other that second chance, well, really the ball is in her court on this story. If she chooses to give this person another chance, the level of like healing and the level of genuine like togetherness and genuine like grace that these two give each other, once again with those white feathers, there is such a profound, and actually white angel wings there too, there is such a divine energy in this relationship. I almost think that maybe these two would be one of the strongest couples, all said and done, and one of the most healed. And it's like they would have quite the story to tell, in their golden years, sitting there talking things over and being like, man, we definitely, we had a lot. We had a lot that we were learning. We had a lot of things that we had to grow through, and we hurt each other along the way, or certainly he hurt her, but then we gave each other another chance, and it just kind of seems like they have quite the story. What is that song? Gordon Lightfoot. Oh gosh, something if you could read my mind, love. It's actually a song that is sad, though. It's about like a lost love. What a tale my thoughts could tell. But the beginning of it, and actually the melody of it, is like really pretty. I don't know. I don't think that these two are done with each other. And I actually think that these two could be really, really good together in this storyline, even though it certainly has required quite a bit of grace and quite a bit of, change. This storyline wouldn't work if there weren't going to be change, if there weren't going to be growth. So, and that begins with that King of Swords wanting to do that, wanting to become that King of Wands. There is a strong push-pull from the universe to this because of all the angel feathers, but also we've got the galaxy showing up, and it's so prominently on both of these cards. And I just think this is a really divine connection on this one. All right, you guys, I'm going to leave this one here. Thank you so much. I'm really honored you guys are here. Black Love Project, thank you, honey. Atar Axia, hello, hello. Hi, Tiffany. Thank you again, Crystal Suzanne. Brino Santos, great to see you. Hi, Roxanne. Oh, happy belated birthday, Roxanne. That is wonderful. Marissa Brown Puddin', hi. I love your name. That's so adorable. Hi, Sierra. Thank you, honey. Thank you. The Empress, hello, hello. Hi, Lulu. Jay Sabran, thank you for the bouquet. You're so sweet. Hi, Patricia. RT, thank you. You guys are awesome. Hello, darling. Rebecca Webb. Lavender Moon, hi, honey. Glad you made it. All right, you guys, take care. We will get back to our regular routine starting this week. So thank you guys for bearing with me while I was away. Hi, Kim. Alley Cat, great to catch you, honey. Oh, wonderful. Roxanne, I hope you had a wonderful time. That's awesome. And Nancy, thank you again for being here. All right, you guys. Sweet dreams, everyone. See you tomorrow. Bye.